Today's video is very special because it answers the very important question of how much home can I afford? So my team and I, we built a custom home affordability calculator. It's completely free to use. No registration required, no sign up. I don't want any of your information. I don't want your email. I don't want anything. I just want to help people out. So I'm going to show you how it works in a moment. But first, I want to walk you through a few real life scenarios. So some of these numbers, I'm telling you, they might surprise you. Now, I want you to understand that how much home that you can afford depends a lot on the interest rates, and I want you to see for yourself. So as we go through these numbers, and please take a look down below, keep an eye out for your income level. And we're gonna start, as you can see, with an 8% mortgage interest rate on a 30-year fixed loan. And we're using gross income and assuming a 10% down payments across the board. Now, I want to show you how things change with a 7% mortgage interest rate. So the numbers that you're seeing right here, this is the recommended budget. It's basically keeping your housing costs at or below 28% of your gross income. So that's considered a level where most people can stay financially comfortable. So, I mean, you can go above that amount, but that's when most people feel like it starts to get tight, financially speaking. So you may still qualify for a loan more than this amount, but you're most likely gonna feel the pressure because there's not gonna be much money left over for expenses or savings or emergencies. So this is what people mean when they say that someone is house poor, that all the money goes into the home and there's nothing left over for the rest of your life. Now, let's run the calculations with the 6% mortgage interest rate. So for all of these calculations that we've done and we're gonna do, we're assuming that property taxes and insurance, together they add up to 1.75% of the home's value. But I'll tell you this, if that doesn't match your situation, then I'd say no problem, because on my website with my calculator, you can adjust the property taxes, the insurance, HOA fees, etc., to reflect your actual numbers. Now, I want you to take a look at what happens when we're working with a 5% mortgage interest rates. And just a quick note, if you prefer to run these numbers based off your net income, so after taxes, then you can do that too. So I built that option into the calculator. You just check a box and it's gonna switch from gross to net income automatically. Now, here are the recommended home prices using a 4% mortgage interest rates. So I'll tell you that at the time of making this video, right now, the 30-year fixed, the mortgage interest rate on that is around 7%. And a lot of people know, a lot of people have been asking, do you ever think that mortgage interest rates will ever get back down to 4%? Personally, I believe that yes, they will. However, I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you, I don't think that that's gonna happen anytime soon. I would say don't expect that in 2025. But if you've seen my Great Melt-Up videos, the series, then you're gonna understand why I'm saying this. All I can tell you is that there are very powerful forces at play, and over time, I think that rates are gonna come back down to this level. And for our final scenario, please take a look at how much home that you can afford with a 3% mortgage interest rate. So as you can see, I mean, take a look. It's so clear of how much of an impact that mortgage interest rates cause on home affordability. So again, just look at how big of a difference it makes. You know, I'll just pick out one as an example. Just take a look at the $100,000 of gross income, right? Just look at that difference and how much home that you can afford. At an 8% mortgage interest rates, your recommended budget is about $289,000. But at an interest rate of 3%, that number jumps up to $444,000. So that's a 53% increase in what you can afford just from the interest rate alone. I mean, that's pretty wild, right? All right, now I want to show you how to use my calculator. So it's completely free, no sign up, no registration. I just want to help people make smarter decisions. So we're going to walk through just one example together. So we're going to test whether the median household income in the United States of America, which is about $83,000, is enough to afford the median priced home in today's markets. So we're gonna enter $83,000 as the annual gross income. And right here, you're gonna see that there's a box that lets you switch to net income if you prefer to budget after taxes. But for this example though, we're gonna stick with gross income. So another thing is that you can choose to include your other debt obligations like student loans or car payments, but that part's gonna be optional for you. So for this example, we're gonna say that you saved $30,000 as a down payment, and you're getting a 30-year fixed mortgage with a 7% mortgage interest rates. So that's close to the current rate as of today's recording. So we're gonna enter, let's just say $300 a month for property taxes and $120 a month for homeowners insurance. And we're gonna leave the HOA fees blank in this example. So with these inputs, your recommended home price is about $257,966. So that is the recommended number that you're supposed to stay under to avoid financial stress, because of course you're gonna have expenses, outside of your home. So to answer the question, the median home price in the US is around $400,000 right now. And based on current interest rates, the median household income is not enough to afford that, even with the $30,000 down payments. So that gives you a clear picture of how just unaffordable the housing market has become right now. Now, I want to point this out to you. This number over here, the max purchase budget, so that's what a lender will most likely approve you for. And in many cases, it's basically the maximum amount that they're going to be willing to lend to you. But I'll tell you, just because you can borrow that much doesn't mean that you should. So I'll tell you that in fact, this number, it's usually going to be higher than your recommended budget because lenders are not concerned with whether you're going to be financially comfortable or not. Their goal is to maximize their profits, not to protect your budget or to look out for you. And I'm just trying to be honest. Okay, with that being said, I included this number because it can be helpful. So for example, if you're confident that your income is going to increase meaningfully over the next few years and you're considering buying a bit over your recommended range, if that's going to be the case, then this is going to be useful to know. Like, what's the maximum that you'd qualify for right now? So just keep that in mind. But again, that is a big assumption and you need to be realistic about your future income. Now, I want to be very upfront with you about this. The budgets that I've shown you, they've included property taxes and insurance, and again, they're estimated at 1.75% of the home's value. That's a combination of the two. But those numbers, they don't include everything else, and it's important to understand that you're going to have other expenses for your home. So here are the common hidden costs that can catch new homeowners off guard. So of course, there's going to be maintenance and from experience, I'll tell you that if you're gonna have a roof repair and that's not gonna be covered by insurance, that can be very expensive. Or HVAC replacements and even plumbing issues. And the unexpected expenses. And for example, this happened to me a few years back. Like I got hit with a special assessment for a large amounts. Like I had no idea that that was coming. Like no warning, no anticipation of that, and it just really took me off guard. And other unexpected expenses, with utilities or system failures or even major appliances just going bad, whatever they may be. Of course, you have your general repairs over time. And of course, you have the closing costs. When I look at the closing costs just line by line, those line items, it's just, some of them it's frustrating to see them. And the moving expenses, I'm telling you that if you haven't moved recently in the past few years, it is just astronomically much more expensive compared to if you moved 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And the property tax increase, I'm sure I'm not the only one. It just feels like it just goes up faster and faster, more and more every single year, and it's just out of control. It's just ridiculous. It's the same thing with the insurance premium hikes, especially if you're in an area that's prone to weather events. Okay, so these are real costs and they can add up really fast. That's why it's so important to stay below your max budget so that you have room to handle these things, even apart from the other aspects outside of your home. Okay, so what do you do if you're not ready to buy a home yet? So I'll tell you that if you cannot afford to buy a home right now, you are not alone. Millions of Americans are in the same situation. So as I mentioned earlier, the median household income is not enough to afford the median priced home in the US. So that's a tough reality, but it's the one that we're living in right now. Okay, now I just want to be practical. If you're not ready to buy yet, here are a few smart ways to prepare. So listen, I just want to tell you that I'm not saying these things to be insensitive. They seem straightforward. I'm saying them because they actually work. So these are the steps that's gonna put you in a stronger position when the time is right. So of course you can save more for a down payment to reduce your future mortgage and improve your loan options. And you can increase your income. You can wait for better market conditions like lower interest rates or a correction in home prices, or consider shared purchase options, such as buying with a family member or a partner to combine resources. Now, I just want to end with this. Please take the recommended budget seriously. So I've seen, like, with my own eyes, my family, friends, my clients push beyond their limits, and I'm telling you, it rarely ends well. So some became overwhelmed, stressed out. A lot of people became miserable. And I've seen the situations where people have lost their homes because they took on more than they could handle. So please be smart with your finances. I want to see you build a life that you can enjoy, not one where your home becomes a burden. So don't let a lender's approval make the decision for you. Just stick to what's sustainable and avoid becoming house poor. And most importantly, just stay in control of your financial future. So if you found this information helpful, please head over to my website. I'm going to leave a link for you down below. So the calculator is completely free. I just genuinely hope that it helps you avoid stress and helps you to make better decisions. Please subscribe. I thank you for the support, and I wish you a very nice day. Take care.